stop now.
Guys, first of all, I need to say thank you. I really do. 2 weeks ago, there was no march, there was no strike, and 2 weeks later, look what we've accomplished. I bet they can hear us now. I bet they can hear us now. It's easy to say that you're against abortion when you've never had to make the decision to be alone in your bedroom, to look at yourself in the mirror by yourself and to make that decision. It's easy to say that you're against abortion when you're not one of those 12 women who goes overseas every day in seek of abortion. It's easy to say that you're against abortion when you're not one of the 3 women who have to contact women on web every day looking for safe abortion pills that should be easily accessible in this country. The women who get to travel across overseas, they're the privileged ones, and not because they have a tough and awful decision to make, but because they're the ones who can afford it. They're the ones that we can keep out of in some way. They're not the women who are sitting alone at home every day having to make this tough decision, alone in their bedrooms with no one to turn to, who are being criminalised and punished and demonised every day. We're here for them. This is more than just about basic health care. It's more. It's about privacy. It's about equality, and it's about trusting women. We do this for the women who've come before us, who have tried to make a difference. I spoke to some people who said that this time last year and the year before, they were pushed aside. Society was not ready. It seems to me society is ready today. We only stand so tall today because we stood on the shoulders of giants and the people have come before us. Thank you for paving the way. Thank you. Presently we're marching in solidarity, not just in Cork, not just in Dublin, not just in Limerick, not just in Galway, not just in London, not just in Italy, not just in Germany, not just in the States, around the world, people. We're marching for solidarity together against something that is oppressive and inequality. For the future, personally, this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for my little girl. I'm doing it because she can be safe. I'm doing it because she can have a choice unlike me. I am pro-choice. And I am a mother. I am a girlfriend. I am a sister. I am a friend. I am a colleague. I am a neighbour. I am a woman and I am pro-choice. I'm going to leave you with this last thing. I'd be remiss not to mention that today is International Women's Day. A few years ago that stuck by me, and it sticks by me even in this moment when I turn around and I see thousands of people here. Strong women, may you know them, may you raise them, and may you be them. Right. So we have our first speaker here today. Teresa, where are you, my love?
choice for all women. The 8th Amendment needs repealing now. The 8th isn't just abortion rights. The 8th impacts on everything you do when you are pregnant. Should you choose to birth your baby at home, the 8th impacts on that. Should you decline treatment, you don't want an episiotomy, you don't want an induction of labour, the 8th impacts. Once you are pregnant, your right to choose any treatment disappears because the national consent policy does not consider women who are pregnant to be able to make those decisions in their life. I also speak to you as a woman who has made that journey. The difficult decision to go across to the UK for a termination of pregnancy. I wasn't a young child. I was a mother who had completed my family. The 8th impacted on my choices to stay at home with my young child and have a termination here at home. And I want them to be able to stay at home to access termination of pregnancy with their family surrounding them, and I will support them in that decision. Repeal the 8th.
On the way back from Galway on the bus for Repeal, so it's a little bit rushed. I'm always a bit nervous about public speaking, but in a culture full of secrets and shame, our power in women is in our voices. We need to speak up. We have a responsibility to ourselves. We have a responsibility to our sisters, trans brothers, our daughters, our friends, and our mothers. For Savita Halapadvar, after being refused a life-saving termination on the grounds that it is a Catholic country. For Sheila Hodgers, who was refused chemotherapy because she became pregnant. Her repeated requests for an abortion were denied and she was refused pain relief up until her death, 2 days after the birth of a baby which was too premature to live. Shame! Thousands of women and children who were victims of the infamous mother and baby home. Only in pro-life Catholic Ireland would so many children die of malnourishment while under the care of the very same church that dictates to us if, when and how we decide to have them. Speak up for the suicide of a 14-year-old girl at the centre of the X case, or the A case, or the B, or the C, or the D case. How many more cases does there have to be? How many more women will have to travel to safe and legal abortion services to the UK in secrecy and shame? Or those who are on secrecy and shame. But it is not too late for the people who will need to access these services in the future. They do not have to feel the same loneliness, fear, abandonment that Savita, Anne, Sheila and I felt. Because I stand with them. We stand here for them. Then we need to speak up for them.
Hello all. I am speaking today from a point of privilege because I both survived my rape and I survived it without becoming pregnant. And I was so lucky, and for the weeks I couldn't buy a test. I was 14 years old. I was absolutely mortified from the shame and stigma around it. I could not bring myself. When I eventually did buy a test, and actually at that I didn't even buy it myself, I made my friend buy it, and I found out I wasn't pregnant. The relief that washed over me was like nothing I ever felt before. And they want to send people like me, victims of rape, women who have been victims of the oppressive laws in Ireland here, who've had to travel, flee like criminals to English soil in order to receive the health care they need. They're telling us we're going to go to hell. I don't know about you, but I say send us to fucking hell, and together we will. Religiously horrific ways of the church in Ireland, and we will burn every last sentiment of an era that must end, and through this burning we will rebuild a society that respects its women and its womb bearers. And in that process we must thank everyone who fought for this and those who were a victim of these archaic laws. The past women who have sacrificed and fought, the women who survived mother and baby homes, backstreet abortions and marital rape and abuse, which was legal until 1990, the children who were stolen. We thank you and we see your sacrifice. Thank you. Secret abortions every week, and every week that this happens our government and our society is failing us. The women today who survive domestic abuse and rape, the women who will never give up to us, the women who will finish what our ancestors have started. Thank you. Thank you. Our grandchildren, may they honour our struggle and never have to do so themselves. Never forget, and we thank you. I have one last paragraph before I leave you alone. There is a stigma here surrounding abortion in this country and in many countries. They say it's irresponsible heathens and hags and whores who are just irresponsible teenagers. We know this isn't true. But even if it was, children are not a punishment for sex. And I will fight. And I will fight for my hags, witches, heathens, and I will also fight for the average women, the mid-30s, 40s and 50s women, the womb bearers who aren't women, and I will fight for my sisters and my siblings, no matter who they are, no matter we sit in silence. This is the end. We want repeal.
Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful speech. It affects every one of us. I was stopped on the street 2 weeks ago, and this woman said to me, "You look like a normal, average woman." "What does one look like?" was my response. "Are you trying to tell me that it's not normal, average women that need abortion? Are you trying to tell me that it's strange women that are not normal?" I am so proud to see you out here today because the demonization of women who need abortion needs to stop. This is a normal woman problem. This is a normal average woman problem. This is a strange average woman's problem. This is an every kind of woman's problem. I'd like you to welcome our next speaker. Her name is Lorna Bowe, and she's going to come over and have a chat with you about what she feels.
Crying and a lot of heavy rock music right in that last minute. What? Oh, sorry. I did it kind of on like
I've planted a lot of trees for this. Catholic Green doesn't know how to do a protest. Thank you so much for having me here today. I am so honoured to address you all. Today, it has been 102 days since the Citizens' Assembly had its first meeting on the 25th of November. In that time, around 1,224 people have made the difficult journey to the UK. For a medical treatment that they should have received at home. 1,224 is only the number of people estimated to travel. It is unknown how many will have accessed the medication they need online. It is unknown how many were too afraid to approach medical help if there are complications. It is unknown how many have hurt themselves in order to induce a miscarriage. And it is unknown how many were forced to continue with their pregnancy in this country. There are so many unknowns for what in other countries is a normal, routine medical procedure. I don't like talking too much in numbers because our government has all of these numbers. They have access to this information and they politicians, I've actually gone to the Citizens' Assembly. I was angry about the delay that was created, but I was impressed at the level of knowledge that those citizens received. That they received knowledge from BUPAS and the Dublin Rape Crisis Centre and paediatric surgeons in the NHS. And despite what pro-lifers say, that information was fair and it was accurate. And I think the decision that they will make is to have a referendum.
Yes.
But then I saw the lack of engagement from politics. The Fianna Fáil submission is a toxic mess of hand-wringing and conservatism, not unexpected from the party that dreamt up the 8th Amendment in the first place. Even worse, Fine Gael, who brought in this Citizens' Assembly, didn't even bother to send in a submission themselves. This proved to me once and for all that this is a cynical can-kicking exercise. Meanwhile, another 12 will make that journey today and tomorrow and every single day until the 8th Amendment is repealed. They will keep being sent away from this country because our politicians are cowards. Will they bring about a referendum? Not if they can avoid it. We're here today so they know that they can't avoid us anymore. We will not be silent. And if we don't get a referendum, well, I don't think we'll be voting for them in the future, will we? So to Micheál Martin, Simon Coveney and Michael McGrath, to all of the Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael politicians in Cork, I say, we're not going to vote for you unless we get a referendum. Not only do they go to extreme lengths to avoid letting people decide, they constantly insult our intelligence and dismiss the hard work of the pro-choice movement. Several times during the election, I heard that repeal is just a slogan. I heard it from our so-called papers of record and our national broadcast, and they continue to write their shitty law pieces about how this is just a slogan. But if they bothered participating in the Citizens' Assembly, they'd have seen that the pro-choice people were more prepared, had all the facts, and were able to do it better than anyone else is. Our movement is well prepared. I look around today and I see a movement. Not glib, not shrill. We are willing to talk to everyone. Repeal is not a phrase, it is a movement with a rich history and depth that has existed since the foundation of our state. There have always been people who have stood up and said no. There are mothers who emigrated to protect their families from the church. We have people who told their stories today. The people who fought for contraception, divorce, the right to travel, the right to information. The people who fought so that our gay witches wouldn't be committing a crime anymore by being gay. They fought so that trans people could identify as they see fit. Those in the establishment like to pretend that this is a new fad. It is not, and they will learn that at their peril. And what I see is this fight is not a single front. I recognise a lot of faces here today. People who are fighting for our trans friends and families. People who are fighting for better service provision with people with disabilities. People who are fighting to see the end of direct provision. The institutionalisation that people in direct provision face that we in the nation will pretend to be shocked about in years to come. We are already in our communities. We are in each strand of our society. We fight today as we have always fought. And to those who try and belittle and minimise what we are doing today, I have this to say. Our time has come and we will win. Against the established mouthpieces in the media media who denounce us as glib or shrill are saying that we don't appeal to Middle Ireland, even though that's where we live and work every day. We will win. Against the politicians who will not go there, or who dare to tell us not to speak, we will win. Against the church that murdered women and children, who enslaved them and starved them before burying them in unmarked graves, against the state that assisted them, we will win. In villages and towns across Ireland, on the street and on doors, from UCC, CIT, Crawford, Cove, Bandon, Yale, Charleville, Mahon, in our own city of Cork, we will win.
Our next speaker is a friend of mine, Tishka, who has organised this march. I'd like to give her a massive round of applause, lads. Welcome her.
I'm not a great public speaker, I'm a great speaker, but not in public. I've not prepared that much, but I'm just so amazed by how many people are here. And this is our citizens' assembly. We don't need 99 people. We need this. This is and even if there's one woman that has to travel abroad for an abortion, this is already where the government is going wrong. One woman, there is a need, but look at this. This is what we need, and this is a clear sign to the government. We need that referendum, and we don't need it in 2 years. We need it right now. Where abortion has been legal for probably all my life. We don't even think about it. When I came to Ireland, one of the first things I saw was one of these so-called pro-life posters where it said, you're tearing apart the lives of the baby or something. Nobody in the pro-life thinks about the woman. What about us? That was one of the first things I saw, and it really upset me, and it really hit me how privileged I was being a Dutch woman and never even having to think about it. When I informed my friends and family in the Netherlands, every single one of them said, oh, you still don't have that in Ireland, but it's a Western country, right? Why don't you have them? And yes, why don't we have these rights? I think on Facebook this week, somebody saying you're promoting abortion. How can you promote abortion? It's not like, oh yay, oh abortion, let's have it. No, but it's a serious matter. It's not like in the Netherlands. Like what you hear from pro-lifers, oh in the Netherlands, oh people have abortions all the time, because it's legal. That's not the case. No. It's not like we just choose to have an abortion every 2 years. That's not the case, but we need the choice. Yeah. We deserve the choice. And I think Lauren and I were talking about it earlier. It's not like providing choice to women that the amount of abortions goes up. The amount of legal, safe abortions go up. We don't even know how many illegal abortions are here, where women do not see the choice, where women don't have the money to, or
the family to help them out, where they have to have the child, or worse. We have to provide this. We deserve it. We need it now. It's 2000. It's 2017. For fuck's sake. I think that's it. I think all the speakers before me have, and I know that Fiona's going to be amazing anyway. Everyone has said it. We need it now. Repeal the 8.
To read out from a lady called Breach Smith from the People Before Profit, who couldn't be here today. Today, 8th of March 2017, should go down in history for the strike action taken by women and men all over the country to demand repeal of the 8th Amendment. This is a brave and important escalation in the struggle for women's rights, for body autonomy, for equality and justice. We cannot continue to live in a society that penalises women with a sentence of 14 years in prison, while at the same time bemoans the legacy of mother and baby homes of the past. And then will criminalise women for being pregnant. Now they criminalise women for trying to control their own fertility. End the hypocrisy. Get the church out of our lives. Get the church out of our beds. Get the church out of our wombs. Get the church out of our schools. Get the church out of our hospitals. Repeal the 8. Women can't wait and won't wait. What do we want?
Repeal the 8.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Repeal the 8.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Repeal the 8.
When do we want it?
Now.
We have a final last speaker here, Fiona, right? A woman who I've seen protest at these things a many times before. And there hasn't been that much of a turnout before, but Fiona, I'm absolutely delighted to see. Look how many people believe in it now. What an amazing turnout, people of Cork! Now, I'm a councillor in Cork City Council, and I have to say, the pro-choice views are hugely underrepresented, and women in general are underrepresented. Full stop. In fact, when I took my seat, Fianna Fáil lodged an objection, not on the basis of the anti-austerity lines or having the right to co-option, but solely on the basis of my campaigning work on a woman's right to choose and my stance on repealing the 8th Amendment. This is the type of reactionaries, conservatism, that we are fighting up against, but I have nothing but the highest of faith that we as a movement can force change on this government, dragging the government kicking and screaming with us. The 28th of October this year will mark the 5th anniversary of the death of Savita Halappanavar. Shame! A brutal, needless death. And 5 years since, we still have not a single bit of legislation
charged at. The Protection of Life During Pregnancy Act only enshrined a 14-year prison sentence. Savita would not have been deemed ill enough to warrant life-saving treatment under Protection of Life During Pregnancy Act. And let's not forget the absolutely brutal national shame that was the case of Miss Y. An asylum seeker, a young, vulnerable victim of rape who was brutalized by the state, forcibly hydrated against her will, suicidal, and forced to continue with a pregnancy against her will to the point of viability. This is what the state thinks of women and people who can become pregnant. Nothing but incubators for fetuses. But they are pro-life, but they are absolutely not pro-birth. Louisa said it perfectly. We do stand on the shoulders of giants, of the women who struggled for abortion rights before us, and who fought for equality, the struggle for equal pay and rights in the workforce, the right to keep working after marriage, the right to vote, the right to contraception. But there is no slow tide of progress when it comes to fighting for sexism and against the backwardness of the state in Ireland and internationally. Every single gain that was achieved was hard fought for on the backs of movements that were capable of demanding and winning change. And what is won can be taken back. All over the world, we have seen how our hard-won victories are under attack by the rise of Trump and the hard right in Europe, looking to put women back into the home, back into the dark. And the numbers out here today give me huge comfort, because not without a fight. Because it's not just reproductive justice that prevents equality for women in Ireland. We are still not equal. Over the lifetime of our working careers, women will earn significantly less than their male counterparts. The unpaid labour that women are still pushed to do is a key way in which women's oppression is interconnected with the system itself. The parties of Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, who have done everything in their power to prevent a change on the 8th Amendment and reproductive rights in Ireland, are the very same parties who introduced massive austerity that disproportionately impact women, not just as workers, but as a result of how women, through oppression over the decades, disproportionately rely on the services that they attacked. So not only did they say to women, no, if you are facing a crisis pregnancy, that you are not entitled to get safe medical care in your own country, that if you cannot afford the cost of travel, that is indeed your fault, and not the system that set women up to fail in the first place. We need now a women's movement that doesn't just seek to uplift and raise women into positions of power, but a movement that aims to uplift us all, and particularly those disproportionately affected by the abortion ban in Ireland. Poor women, migrant women, trans men, women of colour, women in direct provision, languishing in criminal conditions simply because of their status. It is not simply good enough just to win the right to choose if we don't link that struggle with the need for investment into public healthcare system that is separated from the iron grip that the Catholic Church continues to have on our hospitals in Ireland. Then it would only be accessible to those who could afford it through private clinics, leaving once more the vast majority of ordinary people being unable to access what is necessary. It is not enough to simply have the legal right to something if it is not accessible to all. We're seeing a rise in international movements that fight back for abortion rights and for equal rights internationally. In America, which saw recently in January the largest demonstration in US history in the Women's March. In Latin America, with the growing anti-femicide movements. In Ireland and Poland, with the momentum behind the struggle for abortion rights. Women won't accept going backwards. The rising of the women means the rising of us all.
strike. This is not a strike where people have left work today. You've asked for the time off work. You've called in and said you cannot go. People have walked out. Schools have walked out. Colleges have walked out. Why have we walked out? Because it is important. It's not only important to me. It's not only important to the people that are here. It's important to the hundreds and thousands of people who were sitting at work, who were sitting at home, who were sitting at school, who cannot be here today. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for coming here today. Really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. To the guards, to the traffic corps, to our stewards, thank you. To our speakers, thank you. To the photographers, thank you. To our lovely Crawford witches,